gonna be going for a random at this point. I'm just gonna be starting up the recording here, and there we go. It's a random versus random. Anything could happen. One of the players could get one of their weak spots, one of the others couldn't. I do believe both players are at least pretty decent with all races, so this should be interesting either way. Looks like we've been switching maps to which actually I believe this is probably my favorite, Green Tooth Gorge. It's a nice big map. There's buildings for the strategic advantages that they offer, and I'm saying that as an orc, and we normally don't like buildings, I'll tell you that much. But there's a lot of options here, and it's nice wide open map, and particularly the middle has tends to have some very nice battles going on, since there's room for pretty much full pop army here without things getting in the way. You can actually space things out to avoid AoE attacks even in the largest of assaults. So hopefully we'll be seeing a good match here. Very much looking forward to it. And here we go. Looks like Pomminvarma has gotten the Orc Warboss. And it's even looks like he's locked out and gotten Captain Bloodflag. Always a pleasure to watch this guy. Orcs are just, well, fun to watch. And the freebooters are even funner to watch. Because they is pirates in space. And they is orcs. Meanwhile, Dark Riku has gotten a Techmarine. And at least I know that Dark Riku is very proficient with marines. But I'm not sure I've ever seen him play Techmarine recently, so it's going to be interesting to see how this turns out. We have a pretty standard both build order and capping order this time. Both players have gone for the power nodes and the early requisition points as quickly as possible. And yeah, this early beginning is not going to be a lot of things to discuss. Although in regards to the early balance, I do think the Techmarine was a pretty decent pick for Pomminvarma, at least, well, for Dark Riku, I'm sorry. Normally, I generally have the most trouble against Techmarine early on. I'm not quite sure what the reason is. It's because I rely, as a commander nob, I rely a lot on my commander being able to tie up the ranged firepower, and, well, the Techmarine adds another shooter unit that's gonna be trouble. But, yeah, against the Warboss, that might be quite different, since he's a lot better at tanking damage for the boys early on. Does look like Riku has pretty much circled around right away with both his Techmarine and the tactical marines, and he's gotten 2 scouts out in order to be getting some very nice map control. And already we can see that Riku has pretty much capped the majority of the map here, and he's also going to be capping the natural victory point for Pomminvarma at this point. His Warboss is just going to be cutted around, and there's the building, and Warboss isn't really going to be able to do anything about that. Riku stops before actually getting in though, allowing him to do the full damage against these guys here, but he's just getting kited around. The Warboss, even though he's using the shooting good ability to knock down the Techmarine, he's going to be forced to retreat there, but he's also going to have to retreat out of there himself. Meanwhile, the Techmarines are running out, and they are going to be there. Meanwhile, the scouts are also using the building here. As mentioned, these orcs do not like their garrisons here. They are gonna hang out here and take a bit of damage from the scouts, who just the perfect amount of windows for these scouts here. But the sluggers are gonna have burners in a moment, and that's gonna be hurting those badly. If they start firing, actually. They are messing up quite a bit at the moment. Meanwhile, these shooters are trying to cap some of the map here, but with both the Techmarines now punching the shooters in the face, and the scouts squad safely there. There's not really going to be much trouble. Meanwhile, these scouts are getting out safely, so it looks like Dark Riku is off to a pretty good start at the moment. He's inflicted some decent losses on pretty much all the units on the field at the moment. He's forced off the Warboss, and he started off with some very nice map control, and now has around 50-point victory lead at this point. He's, however, starting to recap the map, although looks like Dark Riku has also gotten Devastator squad, which is very, very good at defending his natural victory point. As mentioned, orcs don't really have any answers to Devastators and buildings in tier 1 in particular. Stick bombs are going to be doing a good job in tier 2, but they can be a wasted investment as well, so it'll be interesting to see if Pomminvarma is gonna be investing in any building counters in particular, or if he's gonna be trying to force Riku out of the buildings in order to fight in other places. These scouts are pretty much just running around trying to cap whatever they can. They're gonna run into a big shooter squad right here with the second one coming up. If they're not careful, yeah, they're gonna be running out of there before they take any model losses. Thing is, even though scouts are very cheap as a squad, they do believe they cost a fair amount to replace squad losses since they only have 3 models. More importantly, a single scout kill is worth a rather disproportionate amount of experience points, so you really don't want to lose those guys haphazardly, as you risk letting the opposition level up too early, which can be a problem. The Space Marines in particular tend to be very powerful once they've got some levels up, but you shouldn't be underestimating Orkz who managed to get a few levels under their belt, particularly the melee ones. So a bit of engagement here. Both the Techmarines and these tactical marines are forcing melee. They do of course have a far higher melee attack than the shooters, and they're gonna have to get out of there. Shooters can actually do pretty decent damage with a knob out, since he does around the same damage as a commander knob would do in melee, but they are not gonna be able to stand up to attack squad regardless. They do not have the melee resist aura that the tactical marines do, so generally you'll only want to be forcing melee against squads that do not have any melee prowess at all, such as guardians without particularly without a warlock and scout squads, stuff like that. It also has the added bonus, as previously mentioned, that shooter knobs are gonna be doing very nice damage while chasing a squad, so they're excellent for countering kiting scouts. Riku is taking out his Devastators, now controlling the middle very nicely at the moment. He does have the victory point in the lead still, and he is taking ahead of Pomminvarma as well. He's pretty much halfway to tier 2, while Pomminvarma is a bit of power off from starting leveling up. Pomminvarma knows though that there's a Devastator out here, so he's not going to be going for the middle victory point like this. Looks like he's going to be trying to retake some of his power here, but Riku is bringing up these tactical marines to prevent these guys from finishing their cap and hopefully get a few kills like that. Tier 2 is now started for Pomminvarma, and meanwhile these scout squads are pretty much just doing, they're completely unupgraded and pretty much solely used for capping whenever possible at the moment, which is pretty much the way you'll be wanting to use these guys. Meanwhile, Dark Riku is now getting out Razorback, which is going to be an awful lot of trouble for Pomminvarma, I reckon. It's against a player who manages to support it well. The Warboss is not going to be able to kill a Razorback anytime soon with his power claws. It looks I'm guessing Pomminvarma is going to have to try and use one of the Orkz solutions to try. Looks like there was a bit of the special ability from the gun, but it stops prematurely. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but he is gonna be trying to stop this cap. He should be using a stomp at this point to try and knock them away from the cap, but he doesn't. He does get a kill. Oh, he does get a kill off though, and just gonna keep chasing him. But now these Space Marines, these tactical marines are now gonna famous out burning down this power gen. Meanwhile, Pomminvarma is returning the favor down here though. The Techmarine is in trouble, and he goes down to these sluggers, but they're gonna have to get out of there, and shooters aren't gonna be able to last long against this kind of firepower either. He's probably gonna be burning down this generator before he gets out of there. He's gonna be taking a lot of losses. Yeah, he should definitely be getting out there at this point. Meanwhile, these tactical marines are gonna burn down the rest of this farm, no problem. And in the meantime, we still have these scouts are just everywhere at this point. They've even managed to decap the requisition point closest to Pomminvarma's base, and at this point Dark Riku has almost secured a complete map control. Pomminvarma doesn't have any trucks out, so he's not gonna have an easy way to get past this here Devastator Marine. Oh, it looks like he's doing... Well, I'm not sure what that was. Looks like a bit of a weird dance, trying to use his shooting good ability on these scouts. Doesn't get a kill off though. There's the tank busters though. They're gonna be laying down a bit of fire there. Probably gonna do a barrage when he's trying to get back, but I'm I'm not sure he was aiming for those or he was trying to anticipate the path, but they're not going to be able to get close enough due to these devastators here. Now tank busters are decent anti-vehicle, especially when they're the full squad, but unlike most anti-vehicle squads, they are losing a lot of damage whenever they lose members, such as units such as plague marines or tactical marines who rocket launchers only have a single powerful rocket user after all, which of course switches over when a frontal target dies. These guys are balanced, however, in regards to having the full squad available, so anytime you lose one of these tank busters, it's gonna be much less effective, which ruins their staying power quite a bit. We don't have extra armor on this raceback. It's gonna be eating a barrage right here, and it... Oh dear! That was pretty much a perfect hit right there. Bit of a loss for Dark Riku. That racerback could have been a lot of trouble if they just stayed alive for a while longer. Just looked like this Warboss is actually in a bit of danger from these scout squads down here, but with the shooters and the tank busters, these guys are gonna have to get out of there as well. This looked like these devastators are pretty much just camping at this point to prevent a flank. They're gonna be trying and kill the racerback here, and it looks like Pomminvarma is going very artillery heavy. While I wasn't looking, he's also gotten out stick bombers, who are gonna be doing decently, especially against the Devastator squad. We do have a full use of the Warboss global abilities here with use your choppers and Art Boys, I believe it's called, which both increases melee and range defense. He could probably have done with only use choppers, and he does manage to get a kill off, but speaking, it didn't really end up doing all that much. You should probably be getting these stick bombers out and start blowing these guys to hell. They've been a thorn in his side for a long time. Meanwhile, do have the Dreadnought coming out here, and it's gonna be making mincemeat out of this. Those tank busters should probably have run into the building and in order to avoid fire from this Dreadnought here. Although they're not gonna be able to kill it anytime soon though. It does have an auto gun out, so it's not gonna have the stomp. These sluggers go inside the building. That's a bit of a peculiar decision, and it's especially bad now. These attack squads are coming in with the flamer, and oh dear, I think that was a misclick or something like that. But they are just completely gone at this point. I'm wondering where those stink bombers are. Looks like they are. Did I just call them stink bombers? I'm sorry. I like stink bombers. I really do. They tend to underperform sometimes, and honestly, who the hell has ever lost anything to the stun bomb buff ever since they were able to hit vehicles? But yeah, I very much like the unit, and they're going to be a very nice counter for these Devastators. Let's see if he's probably going to be using them right now. Finally lay down some hurt on these. There's the love that Dakka to try and prevent them. Dark Riku sees it right away, and the thing about these stick bombers is that they do very much reduced damage against a retreating squad. Unlike normal range grenades, those things do get around a 50% damage penalty on retreats, I believe. So they're not going to be doing much. And it looks like, yeah, it looks like it's over at this point. Dark Riku got a very tight grip on map control in pretty much late tier 1, and he did not let go at any point. So GG and well played, both players.